Do you do yoga at all, man? Do you do like regular yoga or just Kundalini? How often do you do it?
I try and do yoga 2 or 3. Like my exercise regimen changed, not entirely unrelated to listening to your podcast. I now do kickboxing once a week. I do jiu-jitsu once a week. Honestly, it's influenced me. My mate Nick got me into your podcast. And a lot of people that I hang out with are like, sort of in the, as you obviously know, but even in the UK, in the mixed martial art world, this is a very sort of central cultural artifact, and how it intersects with thinking outside the box and a new vision of what it is to be a man and living outside of sort of state ideals and conditioning, and like it's very, very, that's what I'm fascinated about, is these new ways of being a man, like of having tenderness, awareness, awakeness, but not being afraid or indeed ashamed of the aspects of masculinity that have somehow become cleverly maligned over the last sort of few generations.
Yeah.
So I want to, may I say, the shout out to Dean Northway and Paul Busby, because they're the people, some of the people that I do like.
Shout out.
That's a shout out to them.
Yes.
I was ridiculed there for English.
That was
a hate crime. You saw that, Jim. That's going on the hate crime list. I
was giving them a shout out as well.
English. Oh right, no, that's a great
honour. There's no doubt that the English accent is the greatest accent. That's why we use it for all noble movies. Anytime there's a god, or anytime you're speaking in a foreign language that we have translated to English, they have an English accent.
You're
they
right
could be
about
speaking
that.
in anything.
It's
Game of Thrones, Gladiator, everybody speaks with an English accent.
After all of your revolutions, after all of your economic success and global dominion, when it comes to an authority figure, you still go, well, I have come down from on high. You still can't have God go, well, thanks, buddy, it's great.
Yeah, exactly.
You still have a sort of sense of
regalness.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Reverence for the regal.
But they all speak some strange language. They're in some place with dragons. It's all artificial, right? But yet they all speak with an English accent.
There's no reason why they should not be from Detroit.
Yeah. Why don't they speak? Hey, these fucking guys are coming over here trying to fuck our broads.
Your fucking balls on his kid. Comes over here with his fucking dragons.
Get your fucking shine box and your dragons.
Fucking they shit all over.
Ask you to leave the court because you've really lowered the tone somewhat.
So it's like the opposite of going off the course. It's going so deep into the course that everyone's wearing powdered wigs and they're all aligning with some ancient scrolls that they've pulled out of a jar in a fucking cave in Qumran somewhere, and it has been decreed. And you say everything's got to be proper.
Yeah, it's getting deep.
That's what we count on you guys for.
You can rely on us from now for time immemorial to be classy. Sorry for burping during that statement. So I go do jiu-jitsu once a week at a level that, I don't even know if it would qualify for the term jiu-jitsu at the level that I'm practicing at the moment. I'm doing kickboxing, where I had to go to what is called a leisure centre. Do those words exist in
leisure
your
centre?
Yeah, leisure centre.
Like a gym,
like
community
a gym,
center?
but like a community one to do my white belt.
Like a YMCA.
Yeah, like a YMCA.
Yeah.
I was lined up with 10-year-olds doing
nice.
To get my white belt, just to get on the ladder. Do you know what I mean? I've done that quite recently, and as well as that, I do yoga. So I'm using this time where I've stepped out of the madness of Los Angeles, the madness of media, the intensity of it, and during the time I thought, another thing that Jung talks about is the shadow self. All that I am not, I also am. If you think of that, and I suppose a simpler way of saying that is, I've lived this life that's been very focused on comedy and the pursuit of individual success. Think, what are all the things I've not done as a result of that? Like when I was a kid, I was too shy and too ashamed to get into sort of sport type things, and I'm embarrassed about that kind of thing. So I've started to do kickboxing and jiu-jitsu and even football or soccer, as you call it here. I've started to do all of those things now to start to learn about them as an adult man.
Well, it's a beautiful thing when you take chances and do things with other people that are taking chances and doing new things, because you realize that it's really, a lot of it is about the sort of acceptance and the embracing of vulnerability. When you learn a new thing, it's very important to learn new things.